can a U.S. citizen and a person with a visitor visa marry in the USA, then go back to the home country of the visitor, and then maybe apply for a visa someday? Will it cause issues? Well, generally it won't. But I had one colleague who told me about a case, and this is secondhand, third-hand information, but I had a colleague who said they had a marriage case where there was a person in India applied for a tourist visa saying, I need to go to my brother's graduation in the United States. And she was approved for the tourist visa, flew into the United States, went to her brother's graduation, and then got married, went back, and then did the full process of marriage visa, go to the embassy, all legit. It was denied at the end for misrepresentation fraud. And the problem was, I guess, the embassy would have asked, are you engaged with somebody? And they didn't say it probably. And so when they got married, they're like, well, why don't you tell us you had a fiance in the United States and you lied to us? Now, the person didn't violate their status in the sense that they came to the U.S. on a tourist visa and left. They didn't overstay or anything like that. So typically, immigration lawyers say, yes, no problem. But because in that DS-160, just like when I talked about earlier with someone asking about a tourist visa, my goal as immigration is just that you have consistent and proper information so they don't hit you with misrepresentation or fraud later. So if the person gets a visitor visa and gets married, they need to say in the DS-160 that they're engaged with somebody in the United States that they're getting married with. And if they do that, most likely they're going to get denied the visa. So people don't want to say it. But you got to say it, because if you come and get married, they'll be like, wait, you told us you didn't have anyone in the United States. In the DS-160, you say you're not engaged. You come in, you get married, there was a lie over here. And so we're going to accuse you of fraud. And then getting that waiver is going to be a whole mess. So will it cause issues? We got to sit and talk in private to see what the situation is, the background is, all this kind of stuff, and there's planning involved. But the key is always be honest and straightforward with the embassy to avoid longer, dire consequences, although it might have some short-term hits. I'll take one last question. We'll see you guys. I know it causes issues for adjustment of status if I'm married within the first 60 days upon entry. There's also, see, user, there is no issue with getting married within the first 60 days upon entry. I prefer people don't do it, but there's a lot of bad information on the internet and on YouTube that says a 30, 60, 90-day rule with USCIS. USCIS does not have a 90-day rule. I have clients get married on the day they arrive. I've never had a problem when they're marrying a U.S. citizen. So that I wouldn't repeat that, because a lot of lawyers, even on YouTube, again, they talk about this, don't get married for 60-day stuff. That's not per se true. But there's just a lot more going on, so I'd want to sit and talk with the couple that's doing this case so they could plan it out better. I hope you enjoyed this educational video. Also, you'll find our social media site has a lot more videos, images, and information about the U.S. immigration process. Please check those out on the various social media websites.